for you. Holding the body in on itself like a seed, like a fetus, like an infant. And if the forehead is down, go ahead and rock it side to side, or stack your hands under your forehead, or bring a block under your forehead. And gently rock the head side to side. Giving a little massage to the forehead, stimulating the neurovascular, cerebrospinal fluid, stimulating the left and right hemispheres of the brain, massaging the neck a little bit. And then pause. Just let the arms be palms up by the feet or any other comfortable position for you, and really just allowing the whole back body to broaden, widen, and lengthen. And bring the breath into that broad space. Curled up tight in this seed-like, fetal-like position, preparing to emerge into your practice, to unfold and to explore and discover. And I invite you to do that with a mindfulness of openness and acceptance, without judging or criticizing, greeting everything you encounter with an open heart and open mind, curious for what it has to reveal to you, to unveil to you, no matter what it is. Holding the space for your experience exactly the way it is, and honoring that. Honoring yourself. And now extend the arms out in an extended child's. And first, let the palms be flat and spread the fingers, and even take the pinkies so they're just almost to the edge of your mat. And as if you're going to pull yourself forward, but you don't, ground the hands and fingers and see if you can ground the sits bones more towards the feet or the back of the mat. And feel this lengthening. And if you have room to walk the fingers out a little further and extend through the waist, the whole rib cage, coming forward with the shoulders and arms. And now the head will lift a little bit. So it's just even with the upper arms. The ears are floating alongside the biceps there. Keeping the breath long and deep. Maybe feeling the expansion and contraction with the inhale and the exhale. Each breath bringing in vitalizing, nourishing energies. Each exhale clearing, softening. And then see if you can come up onto the fingertips, creating a tent. The hands and wrists. So the head's going to rise up even higher. The arms are going to rise up even higher. Walk the fingertips to the left and sit the hips out to the right a little bit. Head is still floating. And stretching into that right side now, that's opening an arc, taking the breath all the way from the toes, through the folded legs, the seat part, up through the spine, particularly through the right lungs, under the right arm. Feel that skin stretching out to the fingertips. And next, gently walk through center over to the opposite side, taking the hands to the right. Sitting the hips a little bit to the left, taking a few breaths into the stretch at the side. And now let's walk the hands to center. And glide them forward as you lift the hips. Either come onto the forearms or bring the chin and chest down. Really stretching through the side body, through the waist. Sometimes it's more comfortable to turn the toes under in this extended puppy pose. And if you're super duper flexible, you can come up onto the fingertips and really open it up, trying to bring the heart down onto the mat. Chin or forehead down, whatever is most comfortable for you today. A few breaths there. Now in the inhale, create lengthening, widening, broadening. And the exhale, softening at that edge. Deep, long breaths. Still allowing the weight to ground while you stretch. Staying connected. And on your next breath, gently come to the forearms. Place the knees right under the hips, elbows right under the shoulders. Spine is still long, ground into the forearms, wrists, hands, and fingers. And do a cat-cow here. Rounding as you exhale, bringing the tailbone and the forehead towards each other. Inhale as you arch, lifting the crown of the head and the tailbone towards the sky. A few rounds following your breath, grounding into the shins and feet. You can turn the toes under here if you like that better. Grounding into the forearms, wrists, hands, and palms. Moving the spine, almost in a serpentine kind of movement. Try to think about articulating from the crown of the head to the tailbone, stimulating, massaging each vertebrae, the discs between the vertebrae, the whole spinal column, and all your organs and tissues as well. Partaking in this massage, cat and cow. Deep breaths, really connecting, being aware, feeling, sensing, staying present. And then find a neutral spine and take the right arm out to the side and stretch out through the fingertips. Walk them away. Walk the arm and hand away a little bit, but stay with the left shoulder over the left elbow. Stretching. Feel the shoulder blade of the right arm moving out a little bit. The underarm skin stretching. And then gently lift the arm up or lift the elbow up. Lift that arm up and weave it under the left armpit. So you can stay on forearms. Or if you can get down onto the right shoulder, get down onto the right shoulder, let the head rest on the right side. And it's perfectly fine to stay here. Options, you can straighten the left arm out, come onto the fingertips. You can lift the left fingertips up to the ceiling, or you could wrap the left arm around and grab hold of the right waist or thigh. And if you're really feeling like you want even more, you can sit the left leg back, turn the toes under, straighten the leg out, and rolling the rib cage, the left rib cage and shoulder as best you can to the ceiling in whatever position you have selected. Be there for a few more breaths. And then simply come out the way you came in. Left hand or forearm on the floor, you moved it. Bring the left knee back under. Press into the left arm. Bring the right arm out. Lift it up. And then bring that forearm back down to the floor. Gently send the sits bones back into child's. Take a rest there for a couple of breaths. If you want, you could rock side to side. Once again, massaging the forehead. You could add in rocking the torso side to side a little bit. That feels good. Experimenting with curiosity inside your practice. Notice the difference perhaps from the left and right side, arm and armpit. Inhale the arms forward, either flat palms or onto the fingertips. If you're on the fingertips, head is floating between the biceps. Nice deep breath, lengthening the waist. Next, exhale, slide out back into extended puppy, either on the forearms or bringing the chin and chest down. Lift the tailbone, lift the sits bones. And on your next breath, gently glide back up onto the forearms, elbows under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Do a few cat and cows again, following your own breath, activating at the contact points where you're being supported, being aware of that, flowing with breath. Grounded and stable, yet able to move freely into the space around you with the air, the breath. Movement is also considered watery, fluid flowing. And pause in a neutral spine. Take the left arm out, come onto the fingertips. Maybe walk it a little further. Feel the whole shoulder blade starting to move to the left. Stay grounded into the right forearm, hand, and palm. And let's lift the left arm up. Weave it under the right. And again, same pose, opposite side, either staying on the forearms or coming down to the left shoulder and side of the left head. Make sure the neck isn't being tweaked. Right arm gently reaching overhead or towards the ceiling or wrapping. If you want to intensify, you can take the right leg back with the toes turned under. Wherever you are, hold there for a few more breaths, really rolling the right rib cage and shoulder up as best you can. Perhaps you like the toes turned under. Gently bring the right hand back down. Elbow under the shoulder. Come on up. Lift the left arm up to the ceiling. Ground down. And rest back in a child's pose once again. A few breaths there. Whatever feels natural for you to do or not do. Lying still or rocking. Next breath, inhale the arms forward and float on up into a tabletop. And move right into some cat and cow here. Make sure you have your wrists aligned under your shoulders, knees aligned under your hips. Moving with your breath. Again, thinking about articulating the whole spine from the tailbone to the crown. Grounding into the palms, spreading the fingers evenly. Grounding into the shin, ankles, and feet. The it's more comfortable, you can turn the toes under. Flowing fluidly, synchronistically, harmoniously with your breath. Being aware how that feels for you, the space around you, how the breath flows, how grounding feels. If you're keeping enough action, fire in what you're doing or not, and fluidity, water. Let's pause into a neutral spine. Take the right foot back with the toes turned under. Just stretch into it for a moment, feeling that calf and the Achilles tendon stretching, the back of the knee opening. Try to keep the weight equal on the hands and knees and foot. And then let's lift the leg. And you can just hold here if you want to take balance cat-cow. The left arm can go out front, reaching towards the front of the mat. Try to create one long line with the fingers reaching forward, the leg reaching back, even if the hand is gently on the floor and the toes are down. Lengthening the spine in this asymmetrical stretch. Push the floor away, engage your core. Let's bring the left hand down and bring the right foot forward between the hands. And then let's just gently lean the hips back, straightening the leg out, flexing the foot. And then come forward and press the hips towards the right heel, making sure the right knee doesn't go past the ankle. So just a few times, gliding back and forth. And keeping the chest lifted and trying to keep the hips even as you go through the whole process. And again, staying connected to those elements of grounding. So you're still grounding into the left shin, knee, and foot. You're still grounding into the right foot and heel as it moves up and down from the flexed to the grounded position. And the next time the leg is straight, let's pause there. Spine is lengthening. Gently ground the left hand. You can bring the right hand to the right hip, out to the side, or gently revolve, reaching by stacking the shoulders. Left hand grounding, right arm reaching up. Keep your breath flowing. Now let's bring the right hand down, float forward into low lunge, and come on up. Hands can be on the thighs, the hips, or overhead. If you want more intensification here, making sure you're grounded, the hands can come back to the back thigh, creating more of an arch, or you can do it simply by opening and reaching back. Wherever you're at in your practice, honor that. Take as intense or not as you like. Stay grounded, breath is flowing, stay spacious and open. I love that sutra, right? Make the asana steady and firm, yet comfortable and easeful. Asana stilum sukham nirodha, so that you can focus on meditation on the infinite potentiality. Now on our next breath, let's start to lift the torso upright and open the arms off the shoulders in a revolve to the right. Can stay right here, or the right hand can come to the low back, left arm can come across the right leg. Or if you're feeling like you want more, you can bring the left elbow outside the right thigh, palms to the heart, gently revolving the fingertips to the heart, looking over the right shoulder or elbow. Several breaths here. Lengthen through the belly. Stay grounded into the legs and feet. Spine is lengthening and revolving. Breath is flowing. Let's gently come back to center, lifting up. Exhale, frame your foot, come back to tabletop, and this time let's turn the toes under and come to a downward facing dog. If you don't want to do downward facing dog today for any reason, you can do an extended puppy, or you can just stay in tabletop and do cat-cow. Now, whatever you feel comfortable doing in down dog, simply holding or alternating, bending one knee and lifting the opposite heel. Grounding the palms and fingers, grounding the feet, legs and arms are active, spine is long. Holding for a few breaths here. Anytime you rest or take a break, find a resting pose. The next breath, let's come to all fours and into a child's. Let's take a few breaths there. And let the next breath float your arms forward, up into tabletop. Moving through a few cat and cows again. Well, placing the hands and knees in this posture. Breath is flowing. Be aware of the whole spine. Pause in a neutral position. Take the left foot back, turn the toes under. And first, just press the heel back, stretching through the back of the leg, opening the knee to the ceiling. Staying grounded, pushing the floor away, engaging the core, lengthening the spine. And let's lift the left leg up. You can hold here. If you want to take the balance, right fingertips can come to the mat, or you can reach the right fingertips towards the front of the mat. Making length on the inhale from the right fingertips to the left toes. Exhale, soften. Extending and stabilizing. Reaching, yet grounded and secure. Gently bring the right hand down. Let's bring the left foot forward between the hands. And that same rocking motion, gently seesawing the hips back and forward. Staying connected with the grounding elements, left and right leg and foot, the hands, left spine is lengthening, heart is opening. As you stretch and bend the back of the left leg. Next time the knee is straight, let's pause there. Perhaps the inhale takes you a little deeper into the stretch. The exhale softens you at that edge. Let's ground the right fingertips or hand. Left hand can come to the left hip or to the low back, or you can lift the arm up, stacking the shoulders, lengthening the spine, lengthening the left leg, grounding into the left heel, right shin, foot, right hand. Breathing. Gently bring the left hand down, come back to low lunge, finding your place to be here, wherever that is. Grounding down to rise up and expand. Lift the torso up if you aren't already upright. Start to open the arms, revolving the whole upper body from the waist up to the left can stay right there. Or left hand can come on to the low back, right forearm on or outside the left leg. Or you can bring the hands to the heart and hook the elbow outside the left thigh, turning the fingertips towards the heart, lengthening and revolving, gazing over to the left or over the left or right elbow, depending what form you've chosen. Gently come back to center on your breath. Exhale, ground the feet down, downward facing dog, or any alternate pose that you like. Several breaths here, holding still or moving in a way that feels good for you. Grounding across the base of all 10 fingers. Doesn't matter if the heels don't come to the floor, but having that grounding sensation, base of all 5 toes and across to the back heels. Even if they're floating, grounding towards the mat. Gently bring your gaze forward and carefully walk forward to the front of your mat. And let's hang here for a moment. The feet can be either together or slightly apart or hip distance apart. Bend the knees. Let the torso hang, holding on to the forearms at the elbows, and let the head and shoulders hang. And if it's comfortable, you can tap right elbow to the right shin, left elbow to the left shin. Really feel the skin of the back body stretching. And then pause in the middle and hold for another breath or two. You can play around with straightening one knee or the other, or both if you feel ready for that. Otherwise, let the knees be bent, even if it's really deep. Even if the hands are down on the floor or block or prop. Just hang. Let's release the hands down and leave them hanging or bring them onto the thighs and round up slowly. Press into the feet. The legs are charged, slowly rounding up, nice and slow. We've been down there a while. It's kind of an upside down position there. And stand up in Tadasana, mountain pose. Really grounding the feet. Feel into the base of the big and pinky toe and also into the left and right rear heels, the inner outer edges of the heels. From that, feel like the legs charge, like if you're grounding that way, the legs activate naturally. The kneecaps gently lift but don't lock. And then you'll feel this lift coming through the pelvic floor, through the heart, through the diaphragm, the throat, the dome of the roof of the mouth, dome of the head. You're floating up, so grounding down to rise up. Arms in a comfortable position alongside the body. Now, move the weight back slightly with the hips and ground into the big toe. Keep
ball that. Inhale, raising the arms up, overhead, really lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. Exhale, arms back to the side body. Follow the fingers with your peripheral gaze a few times, just like this. Inhale up, exhale down. 3 more on your own with your own breath. Staying grounded. Next time you're up there with the arms overhead, whether it's the third or fourth breath, pause, interlace the hands, press the pointer fingers up to the ceiling, and just gently tilt side to side on the exhale. So inhale, lengthen, exhale to one side. Inhale, lengthen, exhale to the other side. Really important to keep the front panel of the pelvis, the low belly, engaged here so you protect the low back. Keeping all those grounding elements going. Next time you come through center, pause and lengthen. And let's exhale, swan dive forward, reaching long, long, long ground. Send the tailbone down towards the earth. Let the whole torso fold forward. And then inhale up, retrace your journey, arms flying out like wings coming up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, lengthening the spine, lengthening the arms. Inhale, rise up. You can come through that back, flat back position. Do it, otherwise bend the knees. 3 more to your own breath. When you finish, we'll meet in mountain pose, Tadasana. Take a nice inhale, bring the hands to the heart. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the fingertips down if you can touch, if you can bend down that far. And then slowly, on the inhale, round up from the tailbone, low back, middle back, upper back, to chair. Take a nice inhale, nice long exhale. Next inhale, stand up, arms down. Inhale, hands together at the heart. Exhale, reaching the fingertips for the floor as you squat deeply as you can. Inhale, rounding up from the low back, middle back, shoulders and arms. Take a full inhale and exhale in chair, Utkatasana. Then inhale, stand up, lengthen, exhale, arms at your sides. Inhale, hands to the heart. Exhale, bend the knees. Come down into as deep a squat as you can. Fingertips can touch the floor if you can go that far. Inhale, round up, round those feet, charge the legs, low back, middle back, shoulders, arms. Take a full breath in chair. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, arms down. 1 more. Inhale, hands to the heart. Exhale, bend the knees. Fingertips down. Inhale, round up like wings opening. The heart is blossoming. The face is blossoming. Hold for an inhale and exhale. Utkatasana. Lengthen, lengthen. Tailbone dropping. Feet grounding. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, hands to the heart. Hold here for a breath. Bring the hands to the hips, and let's step wide out onto our mats. You want to face your computer or your phone. Really grounding into the inner outer edges of the feet. Maybe lift and spread the toes to find that. Lifting, creating length in the waist. Let's take the arms out, palms up, and see if you can kind of draw the heels towards each other. Notice what happens when you do that. This is like the Vitruvian Man, right? Leonardo da Vinci, all the degrees of potentiality of the human species. It's a really beautiful depiction. Now, carefully turn the right toes out by pivoting on the heel. Let the left hip ride a little bit forward and just come down into a warrior two. Nice and neat. Palms are still up, reaching from the center of the heart. If you're not looking at the computer, you're gazing out over your right fingertips. Now, equalize the weight on both feet. Feel like the inner arch of both feet is lifting. The pelvis is suspended between the legs. The heart is rising. The shoulders and the hips are aligned. Arms are reaching. Breath is flowing. Ground into the feet and lift up through the core. Otherwise, you're going to feel like those legs are starting to burn. Let's turn the palms down. See how that changes how it feels in the dynamics. Just pay attention. Gently straighten the right leg out and start to reach out as far as you can to the right. Let that left hip come with the pelvis. Reach, reach, reach. Then when you have reached as far as you can, find your triangle pose. If you need a block, if you need a wall, a chair, triangle pose can be in a myriad of positions. You have lots of choices. There's hardly any weight on that right arm or hand, wherever it is though. If you're feeling super duper flexible, you can grab hold of the right toe and really stretch it out. Roll the rib cage forward and up. Gaze to the left hand, forward or down, whatever is appropriate for you. Stay rooted. Feel as if you're sending the sits bones towards the left heel, and they're coming towards each other, and the tailbone is heavy, and the front panel of the pelvis is activated. And the energy in the breath is coming up through the legs and radiating out in all directions, like the pyramids. Back up. Turn the right toes forward. Exhale, fold forward. Prasarita Padottanasana. Hands are either on the floor or blocks, or you can hold on to the shins or ankles. Let the spine lengthen. If the crown of the head comes down, let that help you draw the shoulder blades out of the shoulders, away from the ears. Grounding into the feet, breathing. Nice deep breaths. Staying active yet comfortable and at ease. Connecting to all those elements. Where's your water, your earth, your fire, your space, your air, in your asana, in your mind, in your thoughts, in your feelings? Where is it? Seek it. Be curious, have fun with it. Let's inhale up to flat back. Hands to the hips and come all the way up. Arms out, palms up. Draw the heels towards each other. Feel what happens when you do that. It's a really interesting, energetic. Gives a lot of information about tensegrity in the architecture of the asana of the body. Carefully turn now the left foot out. Slowly, gently lowering into warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Aligning. Want to especially be sure that the left knee, the bent knee in any warrior pose or any bent knee pose is tracking over the ankle and the middle toe of the foot. Unless you have deformed legs and feet and have to adapt or an injury or surgery or something. Palms up. The pelvis is hanging in the middle. Sits bones are reaching towards the right heel. Outer edge of that foot is grounded. The arches, the medial arches, inner arch of the foot is lifting. The front panel, the pelvis, is active, floating up and reaching out in all directions. The breath comes up and in, dynamically reaches out through the body into the space around you. Just play with it. Push back into the right foot. Keep the weight equal. Let's turn the palms down and notice that subtle change, how it changes everything. Straighten the left leg and reach, reach, reach. Let that right hip roll with the pelvis, with the sacrum. When you can't reach anymore, find your triangle in whatever way is perfect for you right now, here, today. Stay activated in both feet as equally as you can. Tailbone is heavy, front panel of the pelvis is gently engaged. Spine is lengthening as it spirals. Gaze can be up, forward, or down, depending on your neck and shoulders. Breathe. Carefully, gently press into the earth. Bring the torso up. Turn the left toes forward. Roll the heels towards each other. Exhale, fold, press Virabhadrasana. Whatever version is best for you. Equal distribution of the weight on the feet, torso descending, lengthening the spine, shoulder blades into the back ribs, shoulders out of the ears. On breath, come to flat back if you can. You can use a chair, blocks, or hands can be on the legs, not on the knees, above or below. Engage the core. Keep the feet and legs active. Breath is flowing. Hands to the hips, come all the way up. Turn the left toes forward and gently lunge into the right leg and step forward to Tadasana. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, the arms down. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, the arms down. One more leg. And now 3 with the forward bend. Inhale up, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Exhale, keep lengthening, hollow out the belly, tailbone is heavy. Inhale up the way you went down, tailbone heavy, legs engaged, core engaged, lengthen. 3, 2 more in a row, just like that. Going down and rising up. When you fold down for the third one, pause there. Inhale up, flat back. Ground into the feet, charge the legs, lengthen the spine, pull the belly in, shoulders out of the ears. Exhale, fold, and step the right foot back for warrior 1. So turning to an angle that's appropriate for you. Come on up. You can have the hands on the thigh, the hips, or overhead. Lifting the belly. Let the right hip float back. Revolve the rib cage and the shoulders forward. Watch the alignment of the left knee. Send the weight back into the outer edge of the right foot. Inner arches of the feet lifting. All the same actions. The tailbone pressing towards the outer heel. Sits bones moving towards each other. Coccyx and tailbone moving towards each other. Lifting through the spinal column, out through the crown, out through the fingertips. Let's open the arms to shoulder height and revolve to the left to whatever extent you can. Left hand can be on the left hip, low back. If you're feeling really flexible, you can take hold of the right foot, lift right leg, lift the right arm up. It's up to you here. A few breaths there. Same action like we did in the lunge. Float back to center. Exhale, frame your foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Bring the gaze forward, walk forward to the hands, hang in forward bend. Hollow the belly, engage the feet, let the spine lengthen. Bend the knees as deep as you can, ripple up into chair, Utkatasana, a couple of breaths there. Inhale up, exhale, arms down. Inhale the hands to the heart, exhale. Squat deeply. Inhale, roll up through Utkatasana. We're going to put it all together a little bit now on this side. Play around a little bit more with it. Exhale, over to the right, arms. Inhale, center. We'll flow a little bit vinyasa style. Exhale to the left, arms shoulder height. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, come all the way up, arms up overhead, hands to
Exhale. Hands to the chest.
next breath, revolve to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Staying tall. This is conditioning the legs in a little different way. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold.
Exhale down.
Inhale, up, flat back. Exhale, fold. Step the left foot back for warrior one. Do Virabhadrasana 1 on the opposite side. Coming up, making all of your refinements and adjustments for where you are today. We're going to hold here. So find it. Be present with what you find, with courage, with a non-judgment, with an open mind and open heart, with compassion, love, understanding. These are the qualities of the yoga warrior, the warrioress. Tenacity, courage, patience, strength, yet flexible, movable, spacious. Very fiery, right? These are the swords of that warrior. Open the arms to shoulder height, revolve to the right for a few breaths. Keeping the torso upright. Really moving the rib cage here. Kind of squeezing the lungs and hearts. If you want more, you could take more intense versions of that. It's up to you entirely. Gently come back to center on the inhale. Exhale, frame your foot, step back, downward facing dog. And come to all fours, extended child's, rest in child's for a few breaths. Just noticing, being aware how you are, where you are, body, thoughts, feelings, breath. Taking these moments to take all of that in. The resonations of the asana. The grounding. Feel the heat of the fire. Top of us. Feel the flowing of breath and water through it. Also feel the spaciousness within and all around you. Now let's come up into preparation for camel. So you're going to come onto your knees, and if you're not comfortable on your knees, you can put a blanket or double your mat up under your knees. And have your hands on your hips to start. And for some people, it's more comfortable to turn the toes under in this pose. The thing you want to do is kind of anchor into the ground, whatever position the legs and feet are in, the shins and feet, and create length in the waist area and the spinal column. Now, all those engagements I gave you for everything else, right? The tailbone dropping, the pubic bone moving towards the tailbone, and the pelvic panel engaged, start to lift and fly the heart and rib cage open and back. Hands are still on the hip. Pressing into the legs so that the spine is free to come back to whatever position is yours right here. Now, if it's comfortable to let the head go ahead and do so, but make sure it's with a lengthening of the front, back, and sides of the neck instead of collapsing and closing, compressing the windpipes. So you want this to come up from the grounding, the inner legs, through the pelvic floor, through the umbrella diaphragm, freeing the whole upper body through the diaphragm of the throat, out the dome of the head. Lifting and arching. And on your next breath, come up, bring the hands down, roll over the feet, and just kind of hug yourself in a squat child's pose. To whatever extent you can do this. Just let the whole backside stretch out some. And then we'll do another one, going a little deeper. Setting up, lengthening, grounding, and lengthening, engaging. Starting to come back. And perhaps some of you can begin to bring the hands to the thighs, to a block between the feet, or to the feet, opening it up. Wherever you are today, stay lifting from the legs, through the pelvic diaphragm floor, through the diaphragm of the belly, lungs, throat, roof of the mouth, crown of the head. And come upright. And lean back again. Any way that's appropriate for you. If you can roll onto the feet, go ahead. Let the back body round. One more, coming back to the knees, setting up, grounding, lengthening, engaging. Starting to arch back to whatever extent is appropriate for you. Holding and breathing. Coming up. And this time, carefully, gently, folding into a child's with the knees wide. And find a tabletop. Do a few cat and cows. Just gently. Flowing with your breath. The spine move. And then from a neutral spine, let's do pigeon, bringing the right knee forward towards the right thumb. Glide the hips back with the left leg coming straight off the left hip. First, stretching with the toes turned under, lifting. Once again, sits bones coming down and back towards that left heel. Tailbone gently heavy. And then release the leg down and lift your pigeon chest. And slowly as you're ready, you can come to the forearms. So if you want to lay it out, you can lay it out, or you could have a bolster or a yoga block there. You can have a blanket or a block under the right hip, or you can have a blanket across the back of the right hip and the front of the left hip rolled up. We're going to hold here a good 5 breaths, lengthening and also softening. Some engagement still in both legs, and in the core and arms. In a live pigeon. Let's come back to the forearms and bring the left hand to cup the right knee, and the left elbow then will kind of land right under the left shoulder quite naturally. And then just take the right hand either out to the side as you start to revolve the torso to the right, or to the low back, or you can take it around and grab hold of your right foot. So again, we're just doing this wringing out like we did in lunge and warrior. Lengthening as you revolve. Engagement in the low belly. 6 bones coming towards each other slightly as the coccyx comes down and in, and the pubic bone goes down and back. And gently come back to center, sit your pigeon up. And carefully, slowly come back to tabletop. Do a few cat and cows there. Or if you prefer, you could do down dog. Totally up to you. We'll prepare to do pigeon on the other side. So from wherever you are, left knee coming forward towards the left thumb, right leg easing back with the hips. First with the toes turned under so you can get length and opening and alignment. Then release down. You can have a block or a blanket over the left hip, or rolled up across the back of the left hip, the front of the right hip. And then slowly come down to the forearms. You can hold right there the whole time. And laying it down to whatever extent you can. You can have a bolster or blocks or a blanket there. Finding your place to be, lengthening, expanding, yet comfortable and at ease. Stable and firm in the posture. It has grounding. It has movement, water, flow, air. Your breath is flowing, prana is all around you. It has fire. The stretch is deep and intense in the hips on this. And spaciousness, inner and outer. Expand inward, expand outward. Following that and flow with the tides of your breath. Breathing, allowing the shape of the posture to occur following the breath. Strong and stable, yet comfortable and at ease. Curious, seeking the reconciliation of the duality, all of existence. Inherently has this, especially now during this corona time that we're in, the challenges.
are exponentially accentuated in ways never known to our people, our species, in all time. Remembering, this is your sanctuary. You can always connect into the grace and goodness of your inner sanctuary, the sanctuary of your homes and family and friends. The higher energies that qualities that we try to cultivate as yoga practitioners and teachers. Integrity and honor, virtues, harmony, balance, peace, strength, courage, tenacity. All the postures represent these characteristics, right? So let's come up onto the forearms. And now the right hand's going to cup the left knee. That naturally places, look at the beautiful symmetry in the body, the elbow, depending on your proportions, pretty much under the shoulder. Left hand can come out to the side as you start to revolve, or it can be on the left hip, or come to the low back, or you can reach around and find your left foot. Still engaged in the legs, pushing the floor away with the right arm, lengthening through the spine, sit bones moving towards each other, front panel and belly engaged, but not clenching in the buttocks. Pay attention. And then breathe, relax. Be relaxed and active at the same time. Effort and effortless at the same time. Inward focused, outward focused at the same time. Constant dance of harmonizing, balancing these aspects of all life and experience. Let's gently unwind and sit the torso up. And then just kind of lean over to the left and gently bring the right foot forward. Bring the left leg out. And maybe just gently bounce them. Maybe rub over the top and inner outer sides. And let's come into staff pose, grounding the sits bones, hands just behind the body, grounding into the heels, grounding the backs of the legs, feeling the belly lifting, heart is lifting, shoulder blades are down. Just holding here. Feel yourself rising up from that pelvic floor, from the heels, out the crown, down into the fingertips. And let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, lean as far as you can with a flat back, and then bring the hands down to support that. Don't go any further than you keep a flat back at first. Keep all those actions, grounding the heels, grounding the backs of the legs. Belly engaged. When you're ready, let's just round it down and let the crown of the head fall wherever you are, just letting the whole back body round. We're going to take this like a yin stretch. The feet stay a little bit active, but everything else is kind of gently resting, being the pose rather than doing it. You can reach your feet, you can hold on to the toes or the outer edges of the feet with the thumbs under the big toe mound, top of the foot. But really just let yourself round in a natural way without pulling, straining, forcing. Now lengthen you, and the exhale soften. Natural movement with the breath. Let's gently sit up.
And slowly roll yourself down onto your back or roll to your side. And once you get there, let's just draw the knees in towards the belly for a moment. Now feeling the grounding of the back body once again. And then let's take the knees wide. You can stay right there. Or if you like, you can come into happy baby pose, taking hold of the shins, ankles, or feet, flexing the feet, drawing the knees towards the underarms on the floor, and kind of pushing the feet into the hands and resisting with the hands and arms. The whole back body stays grounded. Make sure the sacrum, the low back, middle back, and shoulder blades and the back of the head are grounded. And the face, neck, and shoulders are relaxed, even though the arms are resisting the push of the legs and feet to the ceiling, back to the floor. Feel the belly rise up between the thighs on the inhale. And release down on the exhale back towards the spine and floor. And then release that and just bring the feet to the floor with the knees bent. And take the feet about mat distance apart. Arms can be in a comfortable position off the shoulders or anywhere alongside the body, palms up. And then take the feet far enough away and wide enough on the mat where you can have space behind the knee. You want to feel space behind the knee. And then flex the feet, and we're just going to wipe or wash the knees side to side a few times. And think of it more as a massage of the hip joints, the low back, and the low belly. We just did all that big work in those powerful, fiery, earthy warriors, Prasarita Padottanasana pigeon. So now think of it as giving yourself a massage, just massaging in a nurturing way, in a caring way. Just a gentle massage. And then pause in the middle. And find your position for Shavasana. Like straightening the legs out, arms at your side, a comfortable distance from your body. Lengthen the tailbone away. Lengthen the legs away, and then relax. Tuck the shoulder blades under, lengthen the arms away, and relax. Rock the head side to side, and relax. Close your eyes or put on an eye pillow. And now let the whole back body melt down into the earth. Receiving this support again, this firm, stable, firm foundation. Maybe taking a gentle scan of your whole body, from the crown of your head to your toes. Feeling and sensing what you notice there now after your practice, preparing to rest silently for a few minutes. Feel as though you're breathing through your whole body, every cell now, tissues and organs and skin and lymph nodes and elements of earth, water, fire, space, and then rest, massage, joint, stretch. Let yourself receive all the ways that you need perfectly for you. Support to help you to do this. want to assign to it. Peaceful, comfortable in Shavasana. Each breath to Shavasana. Resolve and carry with you any good what you've done here today. Becoming more aware, breath flowing, perhaps feeling fingertips and toe tips. Perhaps carefully and gently as you feel ready, support yourself to one side. Take a few breaths there and find your way back into a comfortable seated position. Who did we lose? We lost a bunch of you. You can take yourselves off mute now if you like. Oh, who did we lose? Sorry, that thing just kind of took over. Didn't give it to download. How are you guys? Are you off mute?
I think I am.
All right, let me stop the recording. I'm not doing reactions. I'm trying to